Usually when I do these intros, we have about 3 to 4 minutes of recorded sound that I try to edit down to almost a minute, maybe. This week, 14 minutes, and I had nothing useful. Thankfully, Jason starts this one out pretty strong, so I think we're just going to cut right to that. Welcome to You've Got Mails.
On this week's episode of You've Got Mails, we take you back to the golden age of Hollywood, when it was okay to grab a woman by the arm forcefully and kiss her, whether she wanted it or not. It was also not out of the question to marry a 10-year-old millionaire, as long as he owned Pennsylvania. I'm Jason, I'm here with my old chum CJ, and on this week's episode we discuss Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Hi CJ.
So glad we're wearing pants.
Why do you always talk about our pants?
Well, it's weird. It's like normally, because this is my basement.
It is,
so normally
yeah.
I'm wearing pajama pants.
Uh-huh.
Usually anywhere that you're coming from is the gym.
Yeah.
Like at any point in time.
Gym or work.
Yeah, so you're usually wearing gym shorts. We're jeaned up today.
We are. We got plans after this.
Yeah.
We're actually getting out of the basement for once.
Oh,
Look
so
at
fucking
us.
pale.
I know. Hi, CJ.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Gentlemen
doing?
Prefer Blondes, huh?
Yeah, oldest movie on the list.
Oldest movie
So-
I've ever seen. I can probably confidently say that. Maybe not. When was Wizard of Oz released? I don't know. I'm not good with old movies.
It was the 40s, I think, so
I
that
don't-
might be it.
Was it? I don't think it was that old.
I think Wizard of Oz is older than this.
You know what? I'm going to Google it. While I'm Googling, tell me, CJ. Hollywood. Have you ever seen a Marilyn Monroe movie?
No. Actually, I was going to save this for my grand gestures. I've never seen Marilyn Monroe move.
Only ever
Period.
pictures. I've probably
I've only
seen
ever
like
seen
old
pictures.
clips or something.
Think about it. Even like the Happy Birthday, Mr. President, you've only ever seen other people do it, right?
I've heard her voice do it, I think.
I can confidently say I've seen more drag queens as Marilyn Monroe during her act than I've seen Marilyn Monroe.
That's fair. 1939, Wizard of Oz. So that's the oldest movie I've ever seen.
See?
I have like a weird bias where like I'm anti-classic movie. Like, I don't even want to say anti, but I have no desire to watch them. Like there's just something in me that is like, I don't need to see this.
The style of acting and directing was weird. And it's also like, you have trouble, like you said, divorcing sometimes the weirdness from the art. And like, that the whole time that anybody's making movies back in the 40s, they were just misogynistic, racist assholes,
Yeah.
covering dwarves with asbestos and shit like that.
Yeah. And then top it off with the fact that this is a musical, which also I don't really get into.
I like how in certain points in this movie, they completely fucking forget it's a musical. Like 30 minutes will go by without a song and you're like, maybe they forgot. This is great. And then they start singing again.
It is spaced out because I watched the trailer for this before I watched the actual movie. And the whole trailer is music. Like they show almost every musical act in the trailer.
Oh.
But it's just those like 5 songs that they do in the movie. So you're thinking this whole movie is just going to be like wall to wall singing.
Yeah.
It's not, which I appreciated. And I didn't hate the musical numbers, I'll be honest. They were okay. Like they didn't offend me. Like the Mamma Mia musical numbers offended the shit out of me. Sunshine on Leith, I love. This
Not in an
this
offensive
felt
way,
somewhere-
just offended your good taste.
Yeah, this felt somewhere in the middle. Like
Yeah.
like the Mamma Mia ones weren't shot well. Like it wasn't, I don't know. Let's get into it though. 1953's Gentlemen Prefer Blondes.
Let me ask you something.
Okay. By all means.
Did you get this on Amazon the same way as I did?
I did, yeah.
Was there a point in which it asked you at the beginning, do you want to get this in regular or HD? And you thought, what the fuck's the point in that?
No, I didn't even notice an option. I thought I saw
yeah.
you could rent it or buy it, and I was like, definitely renting it.
I rented this in Ultra HD, and then I realized this movie's like 80 years old. We're lucky that it even plays at all.
I'm sure it made a huge difference. But this movie centers on Dorothy Shaw and Lorelei Lee. Dorothy Shaw, played by Jane Russell, who also I'd never seen a Jane Russell movie. And Lorelei Lee, played by Marilyn Monroe. Showgirls.
Yeah, right off the top,
is
man.
what they are. Yeah, and we start out with a musical number. It's 2 Little Girls from Little Rock is what I assume the song is called. I just, me, I don't do a lot of research on the song.
Yeah,
I tell you what, though, in the 50s, I feel like it was easier to figure out the title of the song because they really just come right out of the gate with it.
Beach over the fucking
It's
head
like
with
the
it.
first line. they come out in like a stage, gowned up and like dancing down the stairs. I say dancing, sauntering. I don't know what they were doing. Dancing for the 50s.
They're moving.
Yeah. And one of those moving picture shows that you've heard so much about. And then we get the credits up front, which this was like Breakfast at Tiffany's. I forget that was like a thing back then. So you sit through...
As I often do when I'm watching these movies, I thought about you. And as you're sitting there just watching credits for 45 minutes.
Yeah, they really just, they give you like... You
who made coffee on this one?
Yeah.
There they are.
Like the best grip number 5.
Fuck yeah.
Assistant to Ms. Monroe and all that shit. You get the credits up front, and then we continue with the musical number. And we see that like they're singing it at like a nightclub. And there's like a nerdy looking gentleman up front stage, like just splooshing all over himself.
Oh yeah.
And Marilyn Monroe is singing directly to him, and it's like a line in the song about marrying whoever as long as they're rich. Like it doesn't matter who you marry as long as they're a wealthy guy. They're kind of setting the stage for what this is all about. Marilyn, the original gold digger, Marilyn Monroe. Gold digger with a heart of gold, though. I tell you, like
this movie. It made me challenge my own concepts on shit over and over again.
Really?
Yeah, because like she's the main star. You're supposed her and Dorothy, but like at no point is she not like a quote unquote bad person.
But I don't think she ever comes across as a bad. I feel
like
she's likable.
That's what I'm saying.
She's just likable, but she makes. We'll get to it. She makes so much sense at the end of this movie with like one or two lines.
Yeah,
where you're like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, like, go for it, do your thing, girl.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But so they finish their number and they step off stage, and she says to the guy like pulling the curtain, "Could you please bring Mr. Esmond to our dressing room?" And she gets back in the dressing room and she's with Dorothy and she goes, I could see that his pocket was bulging. And I was like, this is going somewhere.
I watched that dance number too.
And then she said, I think he got me a gift. And he comes backstage and she tells him that or she's talking to Dorothy about how she loves him. And Dorothy's just like, yeah, because he's rich. Like we come to find out
and she's like, yeah, because he's rich.
Yeah, we come to find out that they both have very different ideas of who they should fall in love with. Lorelai is all about marrying for money.
Yes.
Doesn't see a problem with it. Like, you need to find a man who's well off, and that's who you marry. Dorothy just is, if you're a handsome man, if I'm attracted to you,
she's going to give you a swing.
Let's do the damn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get Mr. Esmond backstage, and his name is actually Gus.
Gus is dorky as fuck.
He is, and we find out that him and Lorelai are dating, which made me ask the question, why do you keep calling him Mr. Esmond? She even calls him Mr. Esmond to his face.
He drops out his diamond. She starts calling him Daddy.
Yeah, well, yeah, he gets out the package, and then I was like, is this the first time a woman's ever called a man Daddy?
Which I can say no woman's ever called me Daddy. I think it would be an instant turnoff.
Really?
I don't like that. Yeah, it just doesn't sound right.
Are you sure, Daddy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just checking.
Soft as the day I was born.
But
it's hurtled a little.
Brings him backstage, calls him Daddy, which I had to ask myself, is this the first instance of a woman ever calling a man Daddy? But I thought it was weird that she calls him Mr. Esmond throughout the entire movie. Never once, I don't think, did she call him by his first name. Well, everyone else calls him Gus. Like Dorothy calls him Gus. Everybody calls him Gus. Which makes you think, like, this is just like a business arrangement more than anything. She asks Gus if it's okay for them to tell Dorothy, and he says, yeah, and she lets her know that they're engaged to be married. And they're going to be taking a cruise liner to Europe, to France, and they're going to be married in Europe. And Dorothy's just like, why wouldn't you just get married here? And this is how we do things. We go to Europe and we get married. As all this is going on, a guy comes in the back and tells Gus that there's a phone call for him, a long-distance phone call from Canton, Ohio. Big pop for Canton there, right?
Yeah.
And so he runs off.
Canton just crawled back in the gutter where it belonged and never heard from again.
Pro Football Hall of Fame, buddy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. That's true. They got I think they got an Air Force Museum there too, or something.
Yeah, they got something. They got name dropped in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. It's probably on their fucking Welcome to Canton sign.
Yeah, that's Canton.
As seen in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. We don't have any Canton listeners yet, but we find out that the phone call, Dorothy says, "Oh, it's his dad," and we find out the dad's not happy about him dating Lorelai, and that she says, once he finds out you guys are getting married, he's never even going to let him on that boat. Like, you guys are never getting married. And you also kind of find out that Gus is wealthy, but I don't really think Gus. It's not Gus's money. It's Dad's money.
It's family money.
Yeah. So Dad's kind of protecting his own money. Lorelai says she's getting on that boat no matter what. And she'll go to France and she'll just wait there until he comes and marries her, and then they'll come back. Cut right to the dock, where they're loading on this luxury cruise liner.
Or the warehouse with a really bad backdrop.
Yeah. This is old time Hollywood for sure.
Oh yeah, man.
And everything was
Four people died to build that set.
Everything was done on a movie set. There was no outdoor shots. There was actually later on in the movie, we'll talk about it. There's a scene where it should be outdoors, but they don't. They just show still shots of outdoors that some crew went and scouted beforehand and just put them all together.
I love every time they show them at night on the boat. You see the background, the sky just bobbing up and down.
There's two guys pulling a rope back there.
Oh yeah,
that cigarette hanging out of his mouth. We see a bunch of guys in blue jackets. They're clearly an organized group of some kind. I couldn't figure out what they were. I thought they were military at first.
First thing I wrote was, boy, the Klan used to really dress up for this shit. Jesus.
That's not who they are.
Because you notice, there's not a single person of color in this entire movie.
That's not true.
Oh,
there's two little boys when they go to France.
Two young boys, yeah. Which I got info on that too.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. But they're all standing around doing roll call. There's one guy with a clipboard calling out guys' names, and they all get sidetracked. And there's an Olympic sized sploosh because these guys turn out to be the Olympic team, and they're on their way to France, and they see Dorothy and Lorelai walk through, and they all stop what they're doing. Their mouths are all hanging wide open, and we see Dorothy asking, who are the guys in the blue jackets? And someone tells them, it's the Olympic team. And she's like, oh my God. The whole Olympic team just for me?
This is when I thought about one of my favorite movies ever.
What?
Boat Trip.
We gotta watch that at some point.
there is an Olympic tanning team in that movie.
But, so it's Dorothy, Gus, and Lorelai. They're all checking in to get on the boat. And we find out that Gus isn't actually going on the trip because I guess his dad maybe isn't letting him. They don't really explain why. He's not taking the boat over.
Yeah, it's loose.
Yeah, but he's kind of perturbed because Dorothy is checking out all these Olympians, and also his wife's about to get on a boat. Have you heard about what goes on in the Olympic Village, CJ?
Oh, God.
These people are sexual deviants.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave my wife alone on a boat full of Olympians.
I heard they bring in tons of condoms, but in reality, they don't even go in. They just throw them out of a helicopter. It's
dumping water on a wildfire.
Feed, animals, feed.
Jesus.
It makes sense, though. It's a whole town of the most young, physically fit people on the planet. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start bumping shit together.
Jesus. But we find out that Gus has kind of appointed Dorothy as the chaperone for the trip, and he's already seen her get all horned up by all the Olympians, and he's like, listen, you're supposed to be looking out for my future wife here. I can't have you trying to hook up with every Michael Phelps on this boat.
Yeah.
We're going to have problems. And we also see a guy off to the side, and he's talking to another man, and the man tells him, the blonde's the one you're looking for. That's the one you need to keep your eye on. And he sees Dorothy, and he kind of says, I got my eye on her, too. And he's attracted to Dorothy. But we get the idea that he's there to keep tabs on Lorelai.
It took me a while, too, to realize that, Marilyn Monroe's the big name in this. But at the time, she wasn't.
No.
This is Dorothy's story just as much, if not more, than
maybe
Marilyn
more
Monroe's.
so. Yeah, I have a little bit of info on that.
It took me a while to realize that, she's kind of just this kooky side character. Not even side character. She's a main star, but Dorothy's
she had top billing. She's billed above Marilyn Monroe. In this. Yeah. I have a little bit of info on that later. But they get to they get to their cabin, and Gus goes on the boat with them and takes Lorelai to the cabin. Gives her a letter of credit, which she doesn't understand what it is, and he tells her this is basically as good as money. When you get to France, take this to the bank, and they'll give you a bunch of money for it. They'll take care, so get you through until I get there.
Meanwhile, I show up to the bank, walk up to the teller, pull a slip of paper out of my pocket and hand it to them, and I go to fucking jail.
They tackle you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dorothy is missing. Like they say that like someone whistled at her and she like totally lost track of what was going on and just followed like an Olympian somewhere.
Yeah, she doesn't hide it. Like Dorothy is looking to get down at all times.
Yeah. This stranger that was talking to the fella outside about keeping an eye on Lorelai, he comes to the door and kind of pokes his head in, is listening in. And they catch him, and he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, wrong room." And as he turns to leave, Dorothy comes in with the entire Olympic team, and is basically like, "Hey, we're having like a shipping off party. Like the boat's about to take off. Like I brought all these guys in, have a few drinks, celebrate, what have you. Get some gold medals." He's telling, Gus is telling Lorelai that he's not going on the trip. And his dad is dead set on stopping the wedding, so there can't be any kind of scandal. Like, we can't have any issues on the boat trip, so I need you to behave yourself. As he watches Dorothy start to get the entire Olympic team drunk as shit.
I mean, it was like, it's her and like 40 men in a room.
But then there's like some random women that show up too. I didn't know who they were, but it was nice of her to include some other people. Just bring them along. At this point, they sing Bye Bye Baby. Dorothy starts singing it to the whole Olympic team. And we get portions of like them all singing together and like the other girls that are there singing like back and forth. And then we cut to Lorelai pulling Gus aside into a room, and the song slows down a little bit, and she's singing directly to him, basically saying bye bye, we're about to leave. And the lyrics of the song basically are like, even though I'm going to be away from you, like I'm going to be playing things straight. There's not going to be any kind of like funny business going on. I'll write you every day. The song fit well with the moment.
As she used the line, "I just want to show you I care," I was picturing her hand like going down below the screen. Just a quickie before you leave.
But throughout the whole song, that a guy keeps poking his head in, and he's like, "Last call for people that aren't taking the trip to get off the boat." And he finally comes in and gives like the final last call, so they all get up and just run. And then like the whole fucking boat is singing. Like, everybody's singing Bye Bye Baby, and everybody gets off the boat, and you see everybody on the boat singing to the people on the dock. Like,
you see the most expensive shot in the entire movie, the one that was shot on an actual dock.
Yeah. With like 50 people, like all in one scene. So they ship off. We see they're sitting out on like one of the decks in like lawn chairs, and Lorelai is going through the passenger list, and she's saying out different names, and she says, "This guy and valet, this guy and valet." She's like, "What are you doing?" Dorothy asks her. She says, "Well, I'm checking the passenger list. Anytime you see this and valet, that's a wealthy guy right there. He has like a valet that goes around with him everywhere." She's like, "I'm trying to find you a rich man. Like, I want to get you a good guy." And she talks about this one name. I think it's Stofford.
The third.
Yeah, it's Stofford the third. And she says, he's got a valet, and I know that name. I'm pretty sure they own a state. I think they own Pennsylvania.
Shout out PA.
Yeah. And she says, well, she says Pennsylvania's not bad, but she says, I don't really care about money. Like, I want, I'm fine with dating a pole vaulter
and this
or
is
whatever.
Like, I mean, for her, for what she's aiming for, it's kind of genius. And it goes to show in this whole movie, anytime they're alone and there's no rich guy in the room, she's super fucking smart. Like, you can see she just shuts it off as soon as a guy walks in.
Oh, she's great at flirting.
Yeah. Like, but she even, like, she lowers her eyes a little. She, like, ups her voice a little bit and starts talking to guys.
Yeah.
But as soon as, like, they're alone, she's like, here's the plan. Like,
yeah, she's definitely smart. And then we see that guy is still, like, watching them. Like, he's off to the side. Like, he's always kind of keeping an eye on everybody, seeing what's going on. Cut to Dorothy. What I can only describe is, like, a whole-ass gymnasium in this boat. But she's talking to all the Olympians, and they're all in Speedos. Like, these guys are wearing next to nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, you guys eat dinner at 6 o'clock every day and are in bed by 9? And they're like, yeah, like, the coach is real strict. Like, we can't do anything. She's like, but that's all the fun happens after 9 o'clock. And we get another big musical number. Ain't there anyone here for love? And it's just Dorothy singing about how she's not an athlete, and she she's not athletic and she doesn't go to the gym and she doesn't work out, but she's just looking for a man to love. She doesn't care about all this this gymnasium stuff. So we get that big musical number.
I like at the end of this, did you catch them when they're diving into the pool and they knock her into the pool? That wasn't planned.
I know, that was
Yeah, they were supposed to dive over.
You're stepping all over all my good info for the end of the podcast. Good info. But yeah.
I see your list.
But yeah, there's this scene at the end where she's they're seeing at the end of the musical number where she's sitting on the edge of the pool and the guys are all jumping over her and diving in.
And once I read that, I had to go back. It looks fucking painful.
One guy trucks her. He trucks her.
There is some Marshawn Lynch shit going on here.
Yeah, she gets like stiff-armed into the pool, and you can tell they had to like cut, and then they shot a different scene of her getting pulled out, still singing. But it was actually her idea. She thought it looked so good that she thought that's how it should play out in the movie. So that was like Jane Russell's idea. We see they had mentioned earlier before this that there was a big dinner party that night. So we cut to a scene of the guy who's been spying on them. His name ends up being Monroe. I think we learned this now, because the maitre d' is talking to him, and he is paying him to get seated at Lorelai and Dorothy's table for the dinner, so he can like get in tight with them and see what's going on. The maitre d' takes his money and then steps away, and then Lorelai comes down, and she wants a certain man sat at her table. This Spofford guy that owns PA. And the maitre d' is telling her, like, and this is where another one of these things where she's real cunning. Like, she knows what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's like, oh, I can't, ma'am. Like, your table's already full because a bunch of dudes have already paid to sit with her. Like, he tells Monroe this. Monroe's the last guy that basically gets a seat at the table. And she says, it's funny. She's like, I was in Atlantic City once, and all these men paid to sit at my table. They all paid the maitre d', but he had to give all that money back. He says, why? She goes, because I ate my dinner in my room every night I was there, and I never came to dinner, and all the men were disappointed. Basically implying, like, if you can't help me out here, you'll never see me at this dinner. I won't be down here.
The game is up.
Yeah, like, you're not getting... I know you've been taking money from all these guys, so give me this one Spofford dude, or we're going to have problems.
It's fucking crazy. Like, the concepts in this, I don't know if back in the day this was like a normal thing, but fucking wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, never heard of that. Like, I would have never thought of this whole situation.
No, not at all. They're having drinks before the dinner at the little bar area, and Dorothy comes in first, and she starts, like, chatting up, like, two older guys at the bar. She recognizes one of them, knows one of them from somewhere, and they're talking, and he introduces her to this guy named Beekman. And Beekman tells her that he owns a diamond mine.
Yeah.
And Dorothy is...
This is like Elon Musk's dad. That's what I kept picturing.
And Dorothy is like, please, I have a friend that's going to be joining us soon. Do not mention the fact that you own a diamond mine. Because she knows, like, what's going to happen. And as she's saying diamond mine, Lorelai walks up behind her. And she's like, diamonds? Say what?
She heard it from, like, across the room.
Yeah.
Like, dog whistled.
Yeah. So she sits down at the table and starts talking to Beekman. There's actually a funny scene where he's telling her he owns a diamond mine. This was probably like state-of-the-art special effects at the time, but somehow like his head turns into a giant diamond while she's talking to him, and it's all she can see is like a body with a diamond for a head. And he tells her, his name's Beekman. I don't know what his full name is, but he goes by Piggy. That's his nickname.
Yeah.
You don't like that? You don't like Piggy?
No.
It was probably...
I've had that nickname too, but it wasn't my choice.
Isn't that one of the kids in Lord of the Flies? Piggy?
Oh, no, they call him by Piggy and not by choice either, because it's about, like, Run Piggy. Also in Deliverance, a guy gets called Piggy, and it's not a good thing. Like, it's not a good thing. Not a good nickname ever.
In the 50s, it was probably fine. But Lorelai ends up going off and dancing with Piggy. Malone, the guy who's been snooping on him, sits down with Dorothy and starts flirting with her, hitting on her a little bit. And he brings up something about getting some bad news on the phone, and he talks about how he has racehorses, and one of them got hurt, and it was probably a very expensive horse. And Dorothy immediately is like, you're one of those guys that likes to talk about his money. And, meanwhile, this is all bullshit. Like, Malone doesn't have money. He doesn't have horses.
No.
I think he just thought that was the kind of woman Dorothy was. And as soon as she's like, no, he turns everything around where he's like, oh no, like, I'm not like that. Like, it's not that important to me. The money's not important. I just, got some bad news on the phone. Lorelai and Piggy come back from their dance and sit down, and Mrs. Beekman walks in, who's like Piggy's wife. And Lorelai is obviously like already dejected that this guy has a wife, and she comes in and she has all these diamonds all over her. And she's talking to Lorelai about her jewelry, and she tells her, "Oh, well, like the nicest thing I have is this tiara," and she pulls out a tiara and puts it on her head and like lets her wear it.
This thing looks like it would break your neck.
Yeah, and Lorelai splooshes over the tiara.
Yeah, she can't even figure out how to put it on.
Yeah. But Mrs. Beekman sees like what's going on and is like, "All right, Piggy, we got to go get ready for dinner." And he's like, "Oh, but we were going to dance a little more." And she's like, "No, let's go. We got to go." The Beekmans are out. Cut to the dinner scene, the big dinner party, and see everybody like sitting. There's a band playing, and then the girls walk in dressed in gowns, and the whole place just stops.
Oh yeah,
and like stares. So every room these women walk into, like everything's just like the record scratch, and they all stare at her.
I mean, they're done up.
Yeah, they are. They look good. They walk to their table and sit down. We see that Monroe's at the table. There's a bunch of other guys there that have all paid to sit there. And Lorelai, it's funny, she's like talking to all of them, but ignoring them all at the same time. Like she like asks one a question, and as he's answering, she goes to the next one, and then she like ignores all of them, and she's like, "I just love small talk." Like, don't you? But like never talked really at all. They announced that like the waiter comes over and he's like, Mr. Spofford is ready to join us. And this
saving grace of this movie.
I fucking love this kid. Spofford is a child,
yes.
like 10 years old maybe at the most. And he walks over and sits down, and they're like, "Oh my God, like how old are you even?" And he's got some great lines. He's like, "I'm old enough to appreciate a good-looking girl when I see one."
Yeah.
he's like,
this kid has game.
He does, but he's also like, this kid is very monotone and just like very matter of fact, which makes him funnier to me. Like that he's not really a good actor.
His voice is like froggy almost.
Yes, it is. He's got a froggy voice. Yeah.
It's worth looking up just his scenes to watch.
Yeah.
Like this movie, if it wasn't for his scenes, I would have just flunked this.
We're going to get to it, but out of all the movies we've watched so far, this kid is responsible for, I think, my favorite scene in any movie we've watched yet.
Yeah. I think so.
Like, I was like, this is amazing. They all, dinner's over, and they all go to have more drinks, and they leave the 10-year-old behind. And there's actually a line where Lorelai tells Dorothy, "Well, at least if he were 16 or 17, you could at least marry him in Tennessee."
Yeah.
Another name drop, another state. Good for you, Tennessee.
Not a good name drop.
Monroe's sitting down having drinks as well. And Lorelai's asking him, "Do you have money? And what do you do for a living?" And he's like, "I don't do anything for a living. I clip coupons, and I live off the fat of the land." And Lorelai's, "Coupons are like money, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, sort of." She's like, "Well, that's good. Dorothy's never been with a man that had money before." And I'm like, I don't think she understands what coupons are.
Nope.
Beekman shows up for a dance, and they go off, and Dorothy and Monroe go for a walk, like out on the deck of the boat, and she's kind of like she's getting a little bit wise to him because like he's talking to her about
he's a little peculiar.
He's a little peculiar, and like there's some things he said that kind of throw her off. Like he was talking about. She says to him, "You were talking about the moon the other night and how it reminded you of a moon you saw at Coney Island." And I wouldn't think a man with a lot of money would be at Coney Island. Which I didn't know that Coney Island was a place that people with money did go. But that was like one thing.
Is that where like Boardwalk Empire was?
Yeah.
Same shady.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then he says something to her, and she says, "You sound like a detective." Like that's something like a detective would ask.
I wrote down, "Oh shit, he's a cop."
Yeah, and he plays it off. And they're walking up, and he's talking about, Lorelai and Piggy, and Dorothy's not happy that Lorelai's talking to this guy, and he says, "Well, it's not all his fault." Kind of saying, Lorelai plays has some blame to go around here too. Like she's only entertaining this guy because he has the money. It's and Dorothy tells him, like, nobody talks bad about Lorelai but me. Like, you can't talk about her like that.
I will say these two, like, you believe it, they are friends. Like these two fucking love each other.
Dorothy, yeah,
like,
absolutely.
They're ride or die. Like they need to end this. I honestly thought about just having like my chick flick to a dick flick be them fucking gunfighting with people and just killing people for
like
each
other.
other.
Like a Thelma and Louise kind of thing situation where they just go off on the lam.
Oh yeah.
But Monroe and Dorothy end up kissing on the deck of this boat, But the next day, she's walking the deck and she sees Monroe taking pictures through one of the portholes into a room, and then he takes off, doesn't notice that she sees him, so she goes to the window and looks in, and it's Lorelai, and she's with Piggy, and they're like sitting real close together on a couch talking.
And this motherfucker is rapping in Swahili.
He really was.
He really was. Like, it cuts and I'm like, did they just make this shit up? No, that's Swahili.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Look at that guy.
He's like, I'm from South Africa. I need to know how to do this.
Yeah, but Dorothy ends up going to the room and basically telling Piggy to kick rocks, that she needs to talk to Lorelai for a little bit. And she asks her what was going on. And she tells her that he was talking about trips to Africa and the way snakes, attack animals. And she's like, he was pretending to be a snake. So he was, up on her.
Yeah.
In an innocent way. I don't think that, I think for the sake of the movie, it was an innocent way. It was a way to, get them close together where Monroe could take, an incriminating picture, but there wasn't really anything going on. Lorelai wasn't actually doing anything with this guy. This guy was probably trying to put the moves on Lorelai.
Yeah, I was trying to hold her.
But Monroe got pictures of them kind of canoodling, in a way. They figure out now that he's a detective, that he must have been hired by Gus's dad, Mr. Esmond, to get dirt on Lorelai and ruin the marriage. So now they have to get these pictures back. So they have a plan.
It's a caper.
It is a caper. It turns into a bit of a caper. Dorothy takes Monroe to dinner, and while they're at dinner, Lorelai gets into his room while the guy's in there cleaning and has the door open. And she's searching the room.
Looking for the film from the camera.
Yeah, looking for the film. And was that a porter? The guy that cleans the rooms? I think that's what that's called, a porter.
I don't know. Never been on a boat that big.
Yeah, but you've seen Boat Trip 1,000 times.
That's true.
We're going to call him a porter. He leaves the room, and when he leaves the room and shuts the door, she gets locked in, which doesn't seem like a great, especially in a boat. We've seen Titanic. Could you imagine if once you were in your room and the door shut, you couldn't fucking get out?
Yeah, that seemed a little weird. You're right.
It was very strange.
Safety rules back then were different.
Yeah.
Like I said, 5 people died to make half of these scenes.
Everybody's smoking on the boat.
Yeah.
So she gets locked in there. So she has to climb through the porthole. This scene, like I said, my favorite scene out of any of the movies we've watched so far. She gets stuck in the porthole, so she's halfway out, and little Mr. Stafford III walks up, this kid, and he's like, "What are you doing? Are you robbing this guy? Are you a burglar?" And she's like, "Listen, just please help me. I need your help. I'm stuck. Can you please pull me out?" And he says, "I'm going to help you for 2 reasons. First, I'm too young to go to jail. Second, you've got a lot of animal magnetism." That's what he says to her. So he goes over and he goes...
I love it because she tries treating him like a little kid at first.
Yeah.
And he's quickly the same as her, how people treat her. Mm-hmm. And he's quickly like, no, I see exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very wise for his age. But he goes and he starts pulling her out. And fucking Beekman, Mr. Piggy, starts walking down the dock. And they see her and she's like, "Oh my God, you have to we have to do something." So this kid has this idea. He says, "Here, take this." He gives her this blanket. He says, "Wrap this around your neck and scoot up, get up back up in the window." And then he stands under the blanket on a table. And it's basically 2 kids in a fucking trench coat. Where he's the legs and she's the head. And Beekman walks up and he's like, "Oh, what are you doing out here? Why are you covering this blanket?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not feeling well." And he's like, "Well, let's go get you some brandy or some sherry. It'll help your cold." She's like, "Oh, no, I mustn't." He's like, "Well, let me take your pulse." And he takes this little hand.
This little hand just pops out.
Yeah. It's like a child's hand. He's like, "Oh my goodness, such small hands." And he's checking the pulse and then the kid's like, "All right, that's enough." Let me throw into the thing. And he's like, Beekman's like, "What?" And then Marilyn Monroe has to be like, "Oh, it's a touch of the laryngitis." And then she starts talking deeper, so it sounds like the kid. It's fucking amazing. I love this whole scene.
It was really good, physical comedy.
Yeah, it was really well done. But he finally, he leaves and the kid helps her out. And that's the last we see the kid. I was sad. I was hoping the kid would make a comeback at some point in the movie. Never does. she gets on the phone with Dorothy and tells her that she couldn't find the film in the room and that he must have it on him. So Dorothy says, all right, I have a plan. Order dinner for 3. I'll bring him down to the room. Dorothy gets there first, and she comments on how hot it is in there, and because Lorelai has the heat turned all the way up, and this is part of her plan. She's like, "This is gonna get him out of his jacket. Like we're gonna pull one over on this guy." Then she starts making drinks, and she's like, "Just remember that our drinks are just like simple syrup and water or whatever, bitters and water. Like his is something completely different." She's like, "How many sleeping pills do you think I should use?" And she puts 3 sleeping pills in this guy's drink.
It's like they have this really clever knife edge of a plan.
Yeah.
And then they just bring out the fucking hammer of sleeping pills. Like they roofie this guy to death.
Gives him three sleeping pills in it.
In a glass full of like gin, bourbon, and tequila mixed together.
Yeah. So he gets in there. She's like, all right, well, let's do a shot. Hands him his drink. He downs it in one gulp. And then immediately he's going to die. Like, he starts like, what was that?
He's like, oh no, I've been poisoned.
Dorothy brings him over what looks like a glass of water. And she's like, here, drink this. He chugs that. Looks even worse. And he's like, that wasn't water. She's like, I know, it was straight vodka. And I'm like, you are going to kill this man. Like, sleeping pills and a shit ton of booze.
Oh, yeah.
That's how people go out. Like, that's not okay. But he's like getting really hot. So they take his jacket off of him. And he's like in a chair looking awful. They go and they search the jacket and there's nothing in it. And they're like, all right, well, there's only one other option. It must be in his pants. So they go out, they pour him a glass of water, but pour the water all over his pants and then yank this man's pants off. Like he's like, this is another line I love. He goes, what kind of dinner party is this? As 2 women are just yanking his pants off.
Yeah.
And then, like one of the porters or somebody like opens the door to come into the room and sees them like yanking this guy's pants off. And he's like, what the fuck is happening in here? And they tell him...
simple. We've drugged this man and we're trying to steal things from him.
Trying to steal his pants. So
Cheerio. Good night.
Yeah. They get his pants off him. And then they tell this guy that, Mr. Monroe's not feeling well. He needs to be taken back to his room. And this guy just takes this pantsless drunk man back to his room. They get the film. It's in the pants pockets. So...
and they immediately go down to the... like film development portion of the boat.
Yeah, there's like a little like 5 and dime like CVS in the fucking boat. So she goes down and she gets the film developed. Which maybe that was a thing like back in the day.
Sure.
I don't know. And she gets the pictures developed and she takes them to Piggy and she shows them, there was this man trying to like blackmail us and basically playing it off like I did you a favor because if your wife would have seen this, like you would have been in a lot of trouble. Where's my reward? And convinces him to give her the diamond tiara from earlier.
Yeah.
And Piggy's all about it. He's like, all right, yeah. He's very smitten. They leave the room to go get the tiara. And Malone has a guy let him into the room, like right after they leave, pulls back a curtain, and he's got like a whole ass recording device in there. He was doing audio recording. Plus he gets the film back.
It'd be great if he just busted out a talk boy.
Dorothy walks in and catches him. And Malone tries to tell her that, I cared about you. Like, everything I told you was true. And then Lorelai comes in, and he says to Lorelai, like, I don't know what you're up to, but, like, Dorothy doesn't deserve to get mixed up in your schemes. And then he tells her again that, like, the only thing I lied about was having money. I don't have any money. Like, I'm broke. But I love you. Like, I care about you. And everything else I said was true.
Like, I mean, they got down, right? Like, they were... Like, it's implied that they slept with each other
She
already.
says something to the effect, like, pretending to sleep with me while you were really spying on my friend.
Like, Dorothy doesn't seem like the type that takes it all the way up to, like, a kiss goodnight and then just closes her door.
No. But he walks out, and, like I say, he grabs her by the arm, and, like, it's one of those, like, 1950s, like, you're my lady, I'm going to kiss you whether you like it or not. And, like, grabs her by the arm, like, pulls her in and gives her a big kiss. And Lorelai says to her, like, why would you let him kiss you? And she said, I think I'm falling in love with him. Cut to, they're in Paris. They're off the boat now. They're in a car. There's
cut to that stock footage of Paris.
Yeah, they're in a car with obviously like a green screen behind them, or not even a green screen at that point.
And
it was just
French Tom Waits driving them around Paris.
It was just some guy like moving a screen around behind them. And they're like, we want to go shopping. Take us to get clothes. And this is where we get like all these exterior shots of like shops in Paris, but no one's actually in Paris and no one's ever outside.
Yeah, for sure.
So they go and they buy some nice clothes. Then they go to the hotel where they're going to check in. And when they get to the hotel, they go up to the guy at the desk, and Lorelai says, this is my name. I have a reservation under Gus Esmond. He goes, oh, yes, I'm expecting you. Come right this way. Takes him into an office, and in the office is Malone, Mrs. Esmond, or not Mrs. Esmond, Mrs. Beekman, Piggy's wife, and like her insurance guy. And the tiara has been reported stolen, and they've been told that she has it. And Malone is basically like the one who told them that she has it. And he's like, just give it back to her, and you could save yourself a lot of trouble. And she won't. Like, Lorelai's basically like, he gave me that. I didn't steal it.
I mean, he did.
I'm
fair
not
and square.
Yeah, I'm not giving it back because I didn't steal it. And if I give it back to you, then I'm admitting wrongdoing, and I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
So he stands her ground, and then they just walk out. They go back to the hotel.
Some real Legally Blonde shit going on here.
Yeah, they go back to the hotel clerk, and he tells her that your room reservation's been canceled, and so is your line of credit. Like, the letter of credit that Gus wrote for isn't good anymore. He canceled everything. Like, he's found out everything, and he's not happy. Then they go to this cafe. They got nothing. They got no money. They got all their luggage. They're just sitting at this outdoor cafe. It's not outdoors. It's on a soundstage.
Oh, yeah.
And they sing When Love Goes Wrong. It's another song.
Is this the one they sing to the little kids?
Yeah, like two little kids in like fezzes show up. Like they're Moroccan kids. And then there's like a bunch of other people in the cafe. And they start singing the song, and the whole cafe gets down. Like they're all
France
on board.
Is on the southwest of Europe. I think it's pretty close to that. I think there's like a lot of cultural exchange with Africa. So you got like these Moroccan kids with fezzes singing around.
So they do that little number. And after that, we see that they're doing their showgirl thing. At first, I thought they were back in the States because they're doing like another showgirl number on a stage. They go back to their dressing room, and a guy comes in to tell them like their next set is like ready to go. Or actually, I think he tells her that they have somebody there to visit them, and the guy's speaking in French. So I'm like, oh, well, they never got out of France. They're probably trying to earn money to get back home.
Or they're just living that good life.
Yeah. Esmond shows up, like, he's come to find her, and he wants an apology, and she refuses to apologize. She's like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, this is all a big misunderstanding.
This is when I realized in this movie that kid wasn't coming back. And I actually wrote, please make this stop. like, this movie took a bad turn. I was like, oh, all the fun parts are fucking over, I think.
I didn't think so. Well, I thought there was more fun to be had. But she tells him she's not going to apologize, and she walks out. And Dorothy's like, you should really get out there and hear the next song. And the next song she sings is Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, which I knew this song. I thought that Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend was another Marilyn Monroe movie. I didn't know it was from this. I thought there was a whole movie called Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. I didn't know it was just part of this movie.
This number was fucking surreal.
Why?
There was like chandeliers made out of half-naked women.
Oh, yeah,
and it was like a weird kaleidoscope nightmare of a song. like go back and watch this, but just watch the background. Like it is like bondage shit going on.
There is some
weird.
It is
very weird.
But she does this whole number, the Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. And then as she's walking off stage, we see Gus at the table. He was sitting right up front again, but he looks real sad and dejected. She gets back into the back, and she tells Dorothy, she's like, I really did love Gus. And Dorothy's like surprised by this. She's like, you loved him? But I thought her reason for loving him was strange. She goes, well, yeah. He just had the best disposition. Like, he never argued with me because he knew he could never win a fight.
Yeah.
He gave me anything I wanted, and he had the money to do it. And I was like, okay, it's not really the best reason to love someone, but okay. This French guy comes in who runs the club, and he's like, the cops are here. They're looking for you. Like, this is what's happening. This is going to ruin. Sacre bleu. He does the whole French
This is
thing.
too much. Get out. This actually becomes one of my favorite scenes, like the conversation they have when she's trying to escape out of the window.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get away from Gus at one point, but she's like, should I call him in? He's like, I don't think he could boost me through that window any higher than you.
Because she's like trying to escape, and first she says, you just have to give back the tiara. Like, just give it back and everything will be fine. So she goes to get it out of like this jewelry box, and it's gone. She's like, oh my God, it's been stolen. So they start sneaking her out the window, and then Gus is knocking on the door, like you said, and she says, well, should we let him in? And she goes, I don't think he's going to get me up any higher than you can. And she's like, no, stupid. Get the money for the tiara from Gus. Like, you can talk to him. You know, you got to get about $15,000. That's how much this tiara costs.
She does math.
Yeah.
I love it. She's like, 15,000. That's 45 minutes of talking to him.
Yeah. She's like, no. She's like, I need this much time. She says, I need. Dorothy says, I'll run interference with the cops. Like, I'll get you your 45 minutes. She's like, well, how? She's like, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And she just walks out of the room. She goes to the door and Gus is there. And he says, I just want to tell you that we're done. Like, we're through. And she says, well, can I at least kiss you goodbye first? And he says, yeah. She's like, well, not out here in the hallway. Come into the room. And he goes into the room and shuts the door. And this is where the 45 minutes apparently begins.
I don't know if there's a lot of talking.
I don't know either. We see that Monroe's at the airport. He's waiting for somebody. And the flight comes in. And it's Gus's dad. And he says he's ready to see his son. And he wants to know where this Lorelai's at. And he goes, well, she's not going to be a problem. She's going to be in like a French night court like for a while because the cops got her.
I just wanted to see Bull.
With a beret.
Yeah.
Just French night court. It's everybody from the show, but they're just all wearing berets. He sees Mr. Beekman at the airport, and he approaches him, and he says, hey, Mr. Beekman. And at first, Beekman gives him a fake name. Very strange. He's like, oh, you've got me confused with someone else. And Monroe's like, are you sure? And he goes, oh, you're that guy from the boat. No, I'm just playing around. I'm just fucking with you. Like, I'm Beekman. I'm Piggy.
I wrote down immediately. I was like, there's some insurance fuckery going on here.
It seemed very strange. And he tells him that he's about to like leave for Africa. He's getting on a flight to go somewhere. Then he says, but I want you to give Lorelai a message for me if you see her. Tell her I'm sorry. I didn't have any other choice but to tell my wife that she stole the tiara. Like, otherwise my marriage had been ruined. Like, you know, just let her know that I don't know how, but I'll make it up to her at some point. And I was like, all right, I'll tell her. We cut to the court, and they're all like getting ready to announce the next case, and they announce it, and they bring in Lorelai. But it's not Lorelai. It's Dorothy, and she's dyed her hair blonde. So from the time she left the dressing room, she somehow managed to dye her hair blonde, complete outfit change, and then get arrested and taken to court.
She's good.
And she is good.
That's a damn good friend, too.
And she does a really good impersonation of her. Like, they start talking to her, and she's doing, like, Lorelai's voice, and it's pretty good.
I had a few drinks.
Did you think it was her?
For, like, the first 2 minutes.
It took me a second to realize it was her, too.
Like, wait a minute.
It took me, and I wasn't drinking, but it took me a second. But and then she does Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. And she, like, rips off her coat, and she's wearing, like, this revealing, like, sequin, like, I don't know, some kind of, like, showgirl outfit underneath. And the whole court is dancing around and singing with her. Like, everybody's going nuts.
Except for the judge. The judge is not fooled by shit.
No, yeah, and then he breaks it all up, and he's like, all right, everybody sit down, like, we gotta get this figured out. He tells her that, like, she needs to give back the tiara, and she's like, well, I don't have it. And Monroe comes in, and he sees that it's her, and he starts to speak up, and he says he has some evidence, and Dorothy, as Lorelai, is like, I need to speak first, can I please say my piece? And as Lorelai, she says, you know, I have a friend named Dorothy, and she's my best friend in the whole world, and she knows I would never do anything wrong. And there's this guy that she really likes, and if he was to ever do anything to, like, hurt me or get me in trouble, like, she would never speak to him again, and she's in love with him. So then Monroe's like, oh, okay, shit. I have nothing to say, Your Honor. I've got nothing to say now.
My bad.
And, you know, Dorothy, as Lorelai, says the tiara has been stolen. She doesn't know where it's at. And Monroe's like, I think I know where it is. Like, give me, like, 4 cops and about 20 minutes, and I'll get you the tiara.
Sure. The judge is just like, I don't know where this is going.
But I'm intrigued.
Yeah, why the hell not?
Yeah, let's see what happens.
I'm getting in the car, too. Let's go.
Yeah, so they go back to the airport. They grab up Beekman. They bring Beekman back to the court. They search him, and he's got the tiara. So Beekman was...
Insurance fuckery.
Yeah, insurance fuckery. It's a technical term for it. So that all works out great. We cut back to the club where at this point Lorelai and Gus have made up and they're going to get married. Mr. Esmond, the dad, walks in and Gus introduces him to her and says they're getting married, and he's like ecstatic. He's like, oh, I'm so happy you found someone. He's like, as long as it's anybody with that Lorelai Lee. And she's like, that's who I am. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I just saw her in a court. Like, he's like, I'm so confused. I don't know what's happening right now. But he says, like, he starts to realize it is her, and he's like, you can't marry my son. Like, I won't allow it because you're trying to marry him for his money. And she says, I'm not trying to marry him for his money. I'm trying to marry him for your money. And then she says this thing, which is like blew my mind, like made total sense.
Yeah, this whole scene, I was like, oh shit.
Like she's trying to convince him, and she says to him, she's like, why shouldn't a woman want to marry a guy with money? She's like, a man with money a man who's rich is the same thing as a girl who's pretty. Like, sure, you might not marry a girl just because she's pretty, but it helps. And she's like, if you had a daughter, wouldn't you want her to marry a man who was well off and had money? And she's making all the sense in the world. And this guy's like, I don't know what to think now, but I'm kind of coming around. And then she tells Gus, I need about 3 minutes with your dad and I'll get this all taken care of. And Gus is like, okay.
Yep.
And he leaves. Next scene, they're getting married. I don't know what she did in those 3 minutes, but God damn it works.
I actually really thought they were going to cut to her marrying Gus's dad. Like, I 100% believed, like, okay, this guy's got the money. She's going to the source. But like, that whole thing, the whole concept where she's like, of course I want his money, and he wants a hot blonde.
Yeah.
Like, and we can also still love each other.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just like an added bonus. And I was like, you know what? She makes a lot of great points. But they're back on the boat. They're on a cruise ship again. They're getting married on the cruise ship. And Dorothy and Lorelai walk out together, both in white gowns, and they sing the same song they opened the movie with, the little girls from Little Rock, as they walk up the aisle. And then we find out, Monroe's on one side, Gus is on the other. They're getting married, both of them together. Best friends getting married to two guys on a boat. Roll credits.
Rock and roll.
Not really roll credits because they rolled them at the beginning. Just the end. And that's it.
Yeah. And my Amazon told me to watch like 20 more fucking Marilyn Monroe movies.
Man, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm quite ready just yet, but we'll get there. What'd you think, CJ? Grand gestures? Anything? You already ruined all of mine.
Well, here's another one I'll probably ruin is, no, because I said, like, there's no people of color in this entire movie. And you're like, oh, the two little boys. Mm-hmm. When they put this movie out in Europe, guess what scene they cut out of here? Because, they were just like, nope, can't have that.
Oh.
Yeah, like, you can't have two little Moroccan boys in your movie.
Come on, Europe.
So, yeah, it was completely white in most of the world.
I thought the rest of the world was more advanced than we were.
Yeah. And I like this was, I don't know, I kind of like the idea that she was a lot smarter. Like, I didn't realize it until closer to the end. Like, oh, yeah. Like, these women are fucking geniuses. Like, they just know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
And there's some weird plotting and scheming. Mm-hmm. But they're going to get it. And, like, I did think, like, my grandfather on my dad's side, worth many, many millions of dollars before he passed away.
Really?
And was, he was a widower. And when he was probably in his 50s or so, he married a woman that was in her early 20s.
Yeah.
Who, like, gorgeous young woman who kind of whisked him away from his family. But I'm pretty sure he was fucking happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking like 50s in the 50s and 60s. So he's like an 80-year-old now.
Yeah.
And, like, basically, she married him for the money and he married her for the looks. And they kind of just fucked off. Huh. And like that was, and she ended up getting all of his money. I mean, he lasted until he was 90 years old. Yeah. So she didn't, she got the money once she was well into her 60s.
She put in the time. She put in the effort.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and it made me think, like, yeah, all right.
You're okay with it. You're at peace with it.
Yeah, like good for him.
Yeah.
He wasn't looking for another love of his life. He was just looking for love.
Yeah. All right. Mine, like I said, I had the pull thing. The other thing you kind of mentioned was that this, you think like this is like Marilyn Monroe, like big star, like such like an icon basically. But this was like Jane Russell's movie. She was top billed. She made $200,000, which for the time was probably pretty good. While Marilyn Monroe was like working for scale, it was like $5,000 a week.
500 a week.
500 a week?
Yeah.
Well, okay, even worse. Yeah. But she like wasn't treated like a star at that point. They ended up being like really good friends. The tabloids tried to like create a story that wasn't really there about how one was getting paid so much more than the other, but they've both said like in different books and like Monroe, like an interview like right before she passed, like that her and Jane Russell had become really close friends and Jane Russell had nothing but nice things to say about her. Mm-hmm. It was just wild though to think that like you think Marilyn Monroe is like this big star, like I know what Marilyn Monroe looks like. If you asked me to describe Jane Russell to you before this movie, I wouldn't have had a fucking clue.
I didn't know there was a Jane Russell before this movie.
It's kind of wild that like the roles were so different, and the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, but the studio preferred the brunettes apparently because they paid her a hell of a lot more money than Marilyn.
I gotta say, if I was gun to my head, I think I liked her character a lot more.
Jane Russell's?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
I like them both.
She's just so fast, quick-witted.
Yeah.
I mean, although, like, there was, like, Marilyn Monroe had some of the best, like, there was one at the end. What did she say? He's like, oh, what's wrong with you? Like, once he's starting to realize he likes her as his daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
He's like, what's wrong with you? Are you Irish or something? She's like, oh, no, only on my mother's side and my father's side.
He says, I'm just glad he's marrying an American. She's like, oh, I'm American. Except for on my mother's side and my father's side, they're both Irish. That's what she says, that was just mine.
Yeah, nice.
Let's chick flick it to a dick flick it.
I mean, I hate to cop out on this. Because I know, like we've said, we're just never going to make a movie into a porn. But you got to admit, every scene felt like the lead up in a porn movie. Every single one of them. Like, even from her meeting an entire group of young studs to...
In Speedos. To the dinner scene where the two women ripped one man's pants off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, every single scene in this felt like the lead up to a porn scene. And so, I mean, I'm going to say this. I want it to be a pornless porn movie. So, like, imagine if you had to edit a porn movie, but you just edited all the fun parts out.
But then it's just this.
Yeah, pretty much.
You
but you know what's going on.
You didn't change it at all. You changed it from this chick flick to the same chick flick.
All right, we'll keep them in, then. Keep in those parts.
Yeah, you got to keep the porn in if you're going to change it. All right. Mine, so when I saw the Olympic team on the ship...
Yeah, me too. This was the thing.
It put me in mind of a couple things. Did you ever see the movie Alive?
No.
About like either like Brazilian or
I know the concept.
The soccer team that crash lands and then has to like eat each other. And then like more recently, Yellow Jackets about like the girls' soccer team that crashes in that plane. They end up resorting to cannibalism. I want the ship to crash, and it just to be like all these Olympians and then Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe like straight on a desert island, and then it just becomes like this intense, like who's gonna eat who.
Oh, make them like the queens of the tribe.
Yeah, like maybe they separate into different tribes where they're against each other and like and they have to resort to cannibalism. And it's just like kind of like
now I really feel like I copped out.
Castaway / Alive. And keep the musical numbers in, like Cannibal the Musical.
Oh shit! You could still have Mr. Piggy.
Yeah,
like they're chasing down Mr. Piggy through the woods.
Oh yeah, you're gonna eat him for sure. He's got a lot of meat on his bones. Yeah, and then like the kid Stofford becomes like the king of a tribe. Like they just carry out this little kid on a big throne.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's
mine.
Kid did bring the BDE.
He did. Yes.
Yeah.
That's mine.
I love it.
Let's Nick Cage it.
I mean, I thought about superimposing him over the kid's face because that'd be fun. But I actually wanted to make him Pierre the driver because Pierre seems to be in this movie a lot, and he's got he's like this lurch character the whole time they're in France, and I think it'd be funny if he was him. Like, and he doesn't speak any English. They're just giving him directions, and he's just shrugging along.
Okay.
Wee.
All right. So I thought this was going to be hard. Because I kind of assumed everyone in this movie would be dead before Nicolas Cage acted in a movie. And it would be hard to connect anyone.
It's not that old.
My first thought was the kid. Because I'm like, well, if anybody had the lasting power to like be in movies later. Like, in like the 80s or 90s. And this kid only was in like 8 movies.
No, he lived his entire life off of this movie.
Yeah, he lived a long life. I think he passed away in like 2015 maybe I saw.
Yeah. But I mean, he was doing like the convention circuit.
Yeah, he was only in like 8 or 9 movies, and in all of them he was a child actor. Like he never acted in anything as an adult. But I ended up able to connect him to Jane Russell, who plays Dorothy.
Oh,
she's in a western, an older western called Waco. Waco also stars DeForest Kelly. I don't know if you know who that is. He's Dr. McCoy from Star Trek.
Okay.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's in all the Star Trek movies. So he was in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country.
Is that the whale one?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think it's when they come to Earth.
Yeah, they go to San Francisco.
Yeah, which also stars Kurtwood Smith, who plays the dad from that 70s show.
Okay.
He is also in the movie Broken Arrow, which stars John Travolta.
Also my favorite thug in RoboCop.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
But he's in a movie with Travolta, who's obviously in Face Off with Nicolas Cage.
Yes. Broken Arrow, I almost consider that a Nicolas Cage movie.
He's not even in
it. The whole time you're watching that movie, you're like, I could see him in every character in this movie. They wanted him in this movie, and he was busy that weekend.
He might as well have been.
Yeah.
All right, let's rate it.
I'm going to go with a 3.75.
Wow. I didn't think you liked this based on everything you've said so far.
I didn't.
Okay.
But I'm going to say, as far as movies that fit the bill of what we're doing, it was a romance. It was a romantic comedy. But it was also, like, if you remember, one of the main reasons that we started this whole thing was to give us a better perspective. And I got to say, this movie did it. Because the whole time I'm just thinking, well, this bimbo's going to get that money. And by the end of it, I was like, holy shit, she's a genius.
Yeah.
And this is all in the plan. And I've redefined what I think love is. Because you can get the money and the love, too. You know? And I got to say, this one had perspective. So I'm bumping it up a little bit just based on that. I almost gave it a 4.
Wow. I didn't hate this movie. I was going to come in at a 3, but you just convinced me to give it a 3.5. Because I think you're right. I think, like...
This movie
large,
made me rethink shit.
And, like, even a 3 for me for a movie like this is high. Because, like I said, I have kind of a bias against classic movies. I don't know what it is. They don't interest me. But I think maybe, like, it's just a preconceived notion of mine that they're not going to interest me. Because this movie wasn't bad. Like, it was funny. It was witty. It was paced well. I mean, it went pretty quick. The musical numbers I didn't hate. I could have done without them. This movie didn't need to be musical. I think in the 50s, you just made everything a fucking musical.
Yeah.
But it was unnecessary. Like, if this movie didn't have any music in it, I'd have been totally fine with it. Yeah, I mean, it's just, like, not a bad movie, by and large. Not really, for me, necessarily. Like, just because of what it is. But I liked it. I liked the 2 lead actresses. I thought, like, for my first Marilyn Monroe movie, I thought she was really likable, charming. Jane Russell was really good. All the supporting cast. This is like one of those movies where, like, there are a lot of interesting supporting casts. Like, everybody is kind of fleshed out. Like, everybody has, like, their own personality. They're interesting. We've seen a lot of newer movies where they throw a bunch of people together and you barely have an idea who they are, or, like, they're not interesting at all. These were all personalities. Like, everybody had a distinct personality. They were interesting. Like, you were like, oh, I would maybe watch a movie about Mr. Piggy and see what he's up to, or like I don't know, like.
So I mean, I can say I'm glad I've seen this movie. I will never watch it again because it would just be awful to sit through some of these dance numbers. But
yeah,
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, so 3.5. Yeah, not a bad movie.
Word.
All right, let's. You know what? I'm going to say it before we roll. Just because I feel like there could be some people that, like, once we roll, don't listen to the rest of the podcast, and they might miss it. So you've got one more week.
I thought we were starting this week.
No, I gave everybody 2 weeks. So one more week. So after this one airs, which you won't have a ton of time, but the next podcast we will review whatever we roll today, and then on that one we'll announce.
Yeah, we already got a short list.
We have a short list, but if you are listening to this right now and you would like to have some kind of say in what we review, you can either email us at you've.gotmails@yahoo.com or send us a messenger on Facebook, either on Messenger or if you just want to comment on one of our posts, that's fine too. Tell us what movie you'd like us to review. We're going to add that to a short list, however many we get, and we're going to roll specifically based on that short list. And we will review that movie. So, if you suggest something and we pick it, give you a little shout out, get to hear our take on whatever movie you think we should talk about. So please, do that. Now, let's roll for next week's movie.
I will say, Shout out to our buddy Corey, who texted me the other day to be like, "Did you just call me out on that?"
We're not doing Roadhouse. I'm sorry.
He was like, "Come on, man."
177 on the list.
177.
And not one of those movies is Roadhouse.
All right. We've got 139.
It's high. That is high.
Come on.
Oh! Crazy Stupid Love.
That sounds very familiar.
I believe this is Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone.
Ooh.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, it is. I'm excited about this. A middle-aged husband's life changes dramatically when his wife asks him for a divorce. He seeks to rediscover his manhood with the help of a newfound friend, Jacob, learning to pick up girls at bars.
This is exciting.
Yeah, so I think like this is this movie reminds me of. I've never watched it, but I feel like it's a more mature version of Hitch. I feel like Steve Carell's like trying to find love and learn how to talk to girls, and Ryan Gosling is his Hitch.
Okay.
Like, teaching him how to.
I love it. We got Marissa Tomei, Julianne Moore, Emma Stone. Fuck yeah.
I think I'm excited about this one. I know I've seen clips of this movie. I've never seen the whole thing. So I'm actually excited to watch a movie this will be Ryan Gosling's second appearance on the podcast. It's got to be better than
I
Notebook.
gotta say, yeah.
And I love Steve
I hated
Carell.
the fucking Notebook, but Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Love Steve Carell. Love Emma Stone.
He's a dreamy son of a bitch.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Well, I already kind of alluded to it, but send us an email. Send us a message on Messenger. If not, just to say hello. Recommend a movie, then we'll put you on the list, and maybe you can get to say, hey, I picked that movie. I wanted to hear those guys talk about that.
Something to call your mom about.
Yeah. Also, follow us, like us, subscribe to us, write us a review, do all the things. Wherever you get your podcasts, be it Spotify, Apple Music. Maybe you listen through like a tin can and a string that you've attached to some sort of generator. I don't know. Is that a thing? However you listen.
Sure.
Like and subscribe to us. And until next time when we talk crazy, stupid love, stay romantic and don't be shit at each other.
Perfect. You think people really just shut it off after we roll?
It's possible. I know I usually do.